Hello you gorgeous girls, how are you? For those of you who don't know me, I am Ingrid. I'm a beauty and fashion blogger and YouTuber, and I am pregnant, and this is a pregnancy update. I promised I would be talking to you about the first, second and third trimester, and it's time for me to talk to you, go through the second trimester, which was certainly really eventful. So I hope you stick around and you're interested in this video. I'm able to remember what I did every week because I've got this book, I showed it to you before. It's called Bump to Birthday, and it's a pregnancy and first year journal. I think it's a great idea to have a journal because there are all these things that are happening to you and feelings, and you think you will remember forever, but, or at least in my case, I won't. So it's great to have it all written down here, and you can put pictures and all that, which is absolutely great. The second trimester starts at week 14, according to this book. And if you haven't seen my first video of the first trimester, I recommend you give it a look because a lot of things happen. And basically, at the very end of the first trimester, I was told that I needed to do a repeat ultrasound because there could be a risk of neural tube defect, which made me incredibly stressed and nervous and scared and everything. So week 14, basically I was quite worried on week 14. I wasn't enjoying things very much because even though you think, oh well, everything will be fine, well, it's at the back of your mind, if you know what I mean. My husband could tell that I was extremely worried, so he decided to take us both for a romantic getaway in the north of Spain, in Cantabria, and it was really great because the 3 days that we were away, I was able to stop thinking about all of that and enjoy myself, and it was just absolutely lovely. And I took some beautiful pictures. I was trying to see if you could see a bit of a belly, but I didn't really have much of a tummy yet. Week 15, I felt a little bit more positive. My brother was there visiting us, and on the Monday we decided to go and buy the pram. I was a little bit worried about buying the pram because as I had been given that well, not bad news, but potentially bad news, I was afraid of buying anything and then things just really not turning out well. But in the end, my husband convinced me and we went to buy the pram, and it was great. I don't know, the feeling of buying it, although it was a bit strange because we ordered it, but we didn't take it home. But yeah. In general, I was still feeling really depressed. I was basically not doing anything with my blog and with YouTube, just because I was generally sad because I was worried about the neural tube defect business. Week 16 was a wonderful week. On the Monday, we went to have that scan to check if the baby had neural tube defects, and when we got there, the ultrasonographer was like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "Because of this," and he was like, "But I had already seen there were no problems." So anyway, he repeated the scan and he reassured me that there was absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. He had already said so in the previous scan, just that they hadn't basically taken any notice of what he had said, and they had only taken notice of the blood test results, which were a little high for that, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. So that was great. And he told us it was a girl. We couldn't believe it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, and it was very funny because my husband at that moment said, "See, I told you so," which was really funny because, I mean, the sonographer was sort of like looking at us like, "What?" So yeah, that was amazing. That's really cool. And that same week, what we did, we decided to have dinner with my parents and my parents-in-law, and we had some cupcakes made. I will insert a picture. And they were blue and pink, and inside they would be the colour of the gender. So inside they were pink. So we took them out to dinner, and then when the pudding came, we said, "Okay, you have to open it," and inside, and it was lovely. It was really great, and everybody was really happy. In fact, everybody was very excited that it was a girl, especially like my dad and my father-in-law. They were so excited that it's going to be a girl. So that was a wonderful week. Week 17 was the week that I started to feel like a little bit of tapping from the inside, as if somebody was like tapping me. And I started to wonder, is that the baby? Or is it gas? Or something else? But My husband felt it a couple of times too when I was telling him to put his hand there, so we were starting to think, hey, maybe this is the baby. So that was really exciting. And then the rest of the week, I had a lot of catarrh. So I went to the doctor, but he said, of course, you can't take anything. You just have to drink loads of water. And then not much else, basically. We started thinking names, and we sort of already started to elaborate a long list of names, but we didn't really, you know what to go for. Week 18, I am feeling really good, really happy, everything's wonderful. Starting to feel a little large. My trousers starting to feel a little bit tight around the tummy, my regular trousers. So I'm like, I think I need some pregnancy trousers like soon. The tapping is more consistent. I can feel it every day. I notice that I feel it when I'm sitting or resting. And my husband has managed to feel it quite a few times when he places his hand and I tell him more or less where the baby is tapping. So we're pretty sure it's the baby moving, which is so, so cool. We bought some mini Adidas trainers for the baby and also to take a picture to reveal on Instagram. So I revealed to all of you guys and that was absolutely great. I got so many wonderful comments from everybody. It was absolutely lovely. I love, sharing with my online family. And then on the Friday, we travelled to England to visit my brother and my sister-in-law. We wanted to tell them the gender of the baby and also to go and visit them. And it was absolutely great. What we did on the Sunday, we had like a gender reveal party. So I had loads of balloons and in pink and in blue and everything set up in pink and blue. And it was so, so much fun. We had a cake. And then at the end, I inflated a very large black balloon, which was filled with confetti. And my brother exploded the balloon and pink confetti flew all over the place. And that was absolutely amazing. It was a wonderful gender reveal. Now we're at week 19 and half of the week we were in the UK. And it was great because we already bought a few baby clothes in England, which was lovely. They had so many cute things. And I was starting to feel quite big. Like my belly had really sort of like popped out. In fact, we were going to have the post-wedding photo session, but it wasn't sort of feasible at that point, basically. Then at the end of the week, I appeared on the radio talking about blogging and all that, which was also a fun event, not pregnancy related, but it was really cool too. Week 20, if you're pregnant, is incredibly important because you've got a very, very important ultrasound to check that there are no anomalies like in the heart or kidneys or anything or brain. So it was important. I do have to say that at that point I wasn't actually nervous at all because I could feel the baby tapping and moving regularly, daily, a lot. So in a way you feel, well, if it's moving around so much, it must be perfectly fine, right? So I had it done twice. First in the public system and the sonographer was really fast and he told me that everything was perfectly fine. And then we had it done privately, which was great because it was a very long session and he explained absolutely everything that he could see, which was really great. I was so shocked at how long the legs seemed, and also the hands. I don't know, it was absolutely incredible. And he also showed us the baby in 4 dimensions, although at that point it's still not as large as it will be, and the baby was sort of covering the face, so we couldn't see the face whatsoever. Week 21 was pretty uneventful. I could really feel the baby kicking and moving, and in fact, for the first time, I felt on myself placing my hand on my belly. I don't know why I hadn't done it until then, so that was absolutely great. I felt a little bit worried at the weekend because I could feel like really strong kicks that I had never felt before, quite like low down in my pelvis. So I was worried if that was normal or not. You know, when you're pregnant, you worry about basically anything. On the Monday, we had to go into the hospital to listen to the results of the ultrasound, but as basically they had told us everything was fine, well, we weren't worried whatsoever. Week 22 was a super busy week, blogger-wise. I met with my blogger friends and we went to try on dresses for a special photo shoot. I felt really great with myself because I could still fit in all of the dresses and I looked amazing and I didn't look like I was pregnant whatsoever. which is a funny thing to say, but hey. At that point, I could feel the baby kicking every single day. My husband can feel her every single day, which was absolutely lovely sensation. And we carried on thinking names and adding more to the list, which doesn't help really. We should be whittling it down, but we're adding more. Week 23 was when I started my yoga lessons, and it was great because I found out I'm a lot more flexible than I thought, and I think that the yoga classes are going to be really great to help me for labour and for the whole pregnancy, so it was a great idea to start them. It was also an incredibly busy week in the blogging area because we had a special photo shoot which was absolutely great. It was so much fun with my blogger friends. And then on Friday and Saturday morning I had events at the Regolodos pharmacy, which was a lot of fun too, but basically I was just so busy with blogger things the whole week. Week 24 was actually the week of Christmas. I was also super busy. My husband and I went to the Corte Inglés to buy, to go and pick up the pram, basically, and also buy a few accessories for the pram. So that was absolutely wonderful, and we took pictures and it was great. Saturday was Christmas Eve, and then Sunday was Christmas Day, and it was lovely, and I took some lovely pictures in front of the Christmas tree with my belly, and I showed that on Instagram, and everybody was so shocked at how big my belly was, because I think it was basically, it's as if I had eaten loads of Christmas pudding and created a Christmas food baby. Week 25 we were also quite busy, I have to say. I had my first appointment with the midwife. I should have had it like a long time before, in the first trimester, but stupidly enough I misunderstood. I didn't know I had to get an appointment with a midwife. I didn't know where or who she was, so that was the first time she saw me. She told me off for my weight, about my weight. Yeah, but anyway, it was great because we got to hear the heartbeat and all that, which was lovely. And then I also asked her about my stomach hardening, because the past 2 weeks, I think it was, I could feel my stomach really going really hard sometimes, and I was a little bit worried about that. But it turns out it's probably Braxton Hicks contractions, which means that basically it's like false contractions, and I have to like rest and drink lots of water, and if I have a lot of them, or if they get painful, or if they increase in frequency and strength, I should basically go into emergency. But that was not the case, so I wasn't, well, I was a bit worried about it, but felt a bit better after speaking to the midwife. Week 26, my brother came over to visit me from England, and on the Wednesday I had the very famous glucose test. That meant that I had to go in, take a blood test, drink glucose, and then an hour later have the blood test again. And so in theory I would have to reduce my amount of glucose below 130 in order to pass. It was a horrible experience. I went with my mum because I thought that the problem was that the liquid tasted very strange, and actually it tasted really good. I chose lemon and it was quite nice, but about half an hour into the test I started to feel really queasy, lightheaded, fainty, sick, you know, all at the same time, and I felt really bad for about 10, almost 15 minutes, and then it sort of passed and all that. At midday they called me and they told me I had failed. You cannot imagine how disappointed I was. I cried, I felt absolutely terrible. I started to panic, thinking that I might have gestational diabetes, which could mean that I would have diabetes later on in life, or that it could be bad for the baby, and you know, I got really panicky basically. I started reading up online about the test I had to do the week after. Well, oh my god, back to slightly stressful situations in pregnancy. I still had a lot of catarrh, basically the few weeks before, and that one I had loads of catarrh, not actually flu, but just like lots of catarrh. I wondered if that had affected the glucose test. I wondered if it had been something like that, so I decided to go to the doctor and ask if it could be that, and basically he told me I just had to drink water, Again, no medicine. Week 27, my catarrh was a bit better, and that was the week when I had to repeat the test. This time it was the glucose tolerance test, which means that for 3 days before the test, I was supposed to have a lot of carbohydrates, which seemed contrary to what you would think you would have to do to pass the test. But like that, you get your body ready to produce enough insulin to lower the levels of glucose when you do the test. And then I had to face and go on the day without having eaten anything. I had an initial blood test, twice as much glucose as the time before, and then I would have my blood drawn every hour 4 times. So I would have a blood test every hour 4 times. And I was so worried because the last time I had felt really sick, and I was thinking, oh my god, this time I'm going to feel incredibly sick because it's twice as much glucose. This time my husband came with me, but actually it wasn't as bad. I mean, at the half-hour mark after drinking the glucose, I felt a little bit queasy, but I just had my husband talking to me and relaxing me and all that, so I passed that, and then it was much better. So that was a good thing. Then I asked when they would give me the results, and they said it would be the week after, and I was like, oh my god, I cannot wait a full week to know I've got gestational diabetes or not. But the nurse there told me, look, if you call your midwife, she might be able to tell you. So on the Friday, I called my midwife and I said, oh, please, can you tell me if I passed or not? And she did, and she told me that I had passed with flying colours, I passed every single test. Yes, I was so happy, so elated. We went out to dinner to celebrate. I eat loads of pizza. Also that same week, we had the 4D ultrasound to try and see the baby's face and all that. It's not a diagnostic ultrasound, but you do it if you want to. And we weren't able to see anything. I mean, yeah, we saw the legs, we saw the hands and the feet, but she was completely covering her face. She didn't want us to see anything at all. So my OBGYN told me to come in the following week to try and repeat the ultrasound and see if she was in a better position then to see her better. Towards the weekend, I went with my mum to pick up the baby car seat, which had arrived. We had ordered it, but we hadn't picked it up yet. And then at the weekend, we had the blogger market, which was so much fun with my blogger friends. So it was such a busy week. So the 27th week was the last week of the second trimester. And I have to say the second trimester in general is the best, as in you don't have any symptoms, no pains and no aches anymore, you're full of energy again, you're not so hungry, no nausea, although I never had any nausea, but still you feel as if you're not pregnant at all. Basically, you feel really great and all that. Unfortunately, part of the second trimester I was quite sad and worried because of different things to do with the pregnancy. But on the whole, it was a very good trimester and started to look like I had a little bit of a bump, which is always great because you want people to think that you are pregnant and not just that you've eaten loads of food. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please press thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here, for watching my videos, and please comment down below and ask me any question you have, if you have anything, and if I know, I will answer it, obviously. And I will see you in my next video. I will be doing a third trimester one before I go into labour, hopefully. So make sure you're subscribed and you don't miss that. See you in my next video. Bye!